Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily. I'm Alexis. I'm going to be your dietitian for today's appointment. What were your concerns, or why are you visiting?
So I wanted to visit you because I have concerns about weight gain. This is my first year in college, and I'm really concerned about gaining the freshman 15, honestly. I've heard a lot of rumors about it, and I
Right.
want to avoid that, so.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know that it is normal for people to their people's weights will fluctuate throughout their lifetime, and it's normal for people's weight to fluctuate, especially in college, as you're finishing through adolescence. Um, But have you found that any of these weight loss or any of these thoughts about weight loss are reoccurring, or how often do you feel like they affect your daily life?
Pretty often. I'm very conscious about what I eat, but at the same time, I find myself stress snacking. High school to college was a really big transition for me, so
Right.
I've been really stressed, and I tend to snack a lot when I'm stressed, so that's been a problem for me.
Okay. And then anything specifically about college that makes it harder to eat healthy, or that might be more conducive to gaining weight? Like, do you live in a dorm or?
I actually do live in a dorm, and I mean, the cat food isn't the healthiest. I don't really have access to a full kitchen where I can make myself healthy meals. And I don't grocery shop that much because it's just too expensive,
Right.
and I don't have access to off-campus grocery stores. So.
Okay. And as for your concerns about your weight gain, you said that they affect your daily life. Do you find it's a big stressor in your life?
Yeah,
Daily?
I
Okay.
worry about it a lot, yeah.
Okay, and then, so would it be why do you think that you're worried so much about weight gain? Like, do you think that this would be detrimental to, like, your health, or, what are your concerns about gaining weight?
I just don't think that I need to gain weight.
Right.
I mean, no one wants to gain weight, so
Right,
I
right.
guess, I don't know.
Okay, well, I personally believe that this is, even if you were to gain another 5 pounds or something like that, I think that it wouldn't be the worst thing. I want you to know it's going to be a healthy thing, or not a healthy thing, but it's a normal thing for you to gain weight. And also, I mean, if you still have any reservations about it, I can show you where you'd be plotted on a growth chart. I can show you that you'd still be within normal limits for your body type and your age. But yeah, as for that, so I can see a little bit of a pattern of some destructive thinking that you might have, and so for today's session, I just want to help you maybe start to develop some thoughts that we could replace those destructive thoughts with maybe some more constructive or positive thinking. So the first step would be, obviously, we've correctly identified your negative thoughts about weight loss. And as for replacement for positive thinking, so I know that you mentioned that you maybe have a little bit more maybe some snacking habits that that you might be concerned about. So what might be an example of that? Maybe do you eat dessert at a certain meal? Do you feel guilty after you eat dessert and you feel limited in that sense?
Yeah, just that sort of thing. I mean, or just if I sit down and watch a TV show or something, I'll bring a bag of chips with me, and before you know it, the chips are gone. So.
Right.
Yeah.
As for that, I feel like it's okay to be eating, snacking. Snacking is normal. It's something, between meals. But as for if you're concerned about how much you're the amount that you're eating, I would suggest maybe just putting it into a different, trying to portion size. So maybe take it out of the original container that it was in, and maybe put it into a smaller container so that you can monitor more the amount that you're eating. And then we can identify if you have any other problems, or do you want to just go ahead and work with this one first?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I would say that you want to come up with something positive to replace your negative thinking for weight loss. So what would be something that you would find, one example I was thinking of was if you maybe were guilty about having dessert the night before. I know a lot of people that are struggling with weight loss, if they have a dessert, or if they let themselves indulge in something, then they feel really guilty, and they feel like they might need to excessively exercise the next day to compensate. But one way that we this technique is called cognitive restructuring, and one way that we would use cognitive restructuring for this type of weight loss situation would be, or concern about weight gain situation would be, I would encourage the patient that it's okay to let yourself have the dessert, but then the next day you might want to just replace it with something like with a constructive thought. So instead of saying like you can never have dessert, like dessert is bad, you'd say I can have dessert. I had it last night, but next meal I'm gonna replace it with a healthier alternative. So I might skip the dessert and replace it with fresh fruit or something like that. So do you see how the transition went from strictly only negative to like very derogatory towards yourself to something that's gonna give you like a goal and like something to work towards? So that's like the plan here for this. So so next time on the follow-up appointment, so maybe like in between appointments, I maybe would go home, maybe I would journal about any of like the thoughts that you think that might be recurring, and then just brainstorm some ideas of like how you could rephrase those thoughts into constructive manners.
Okay.
And then next time you can bring your journal in and we'll go over them together. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your help today.
You're welcome.